January, good morning, good morning. January 10th, 2023. January 10, 2023. Another beautiful day, guys. You know, Kabrikota and Kashi, we get barely 165 days left for elections. Salon people left. But inside 165 days, Kabrikota, how much days you want to give Marabio? About what? 75 of that days? Now I get for govern. All right. So Marabio get about 75 days because the rest of the days, again, when I get this wrong, he's still the president until that day. Until the day after elections when they announce the new president, Nasalon is still the president. But when they say they call a lame duck session, with that 10 day, you know, they lost all in power, so you know, lost no power, he's still the president. But no more. A lot of things that happen within government in 10 day. All them projects and programs, them, most of the 10 them, they all don't take a standstill, especially in a salon, because we don't get a national agenda, we don't get a national plan, where everything for they continue. Government after government. We don't see say inside salon where one government camp, he say all the other one be do, and we will see what it might be. Of course, they don't do nothing. So Dr. Samara Kamara or who not get for be president after June 24, not get much for go after anyways, because there's nothing where these guys do. There is no agenda set in place for benefit salon people. But that is the thing we want for reminder now. Now 75 days. Now Marabio get someone now effectively for govern, because the rest na campaign, begin the dance boo boo. We not go for see the dance them. Young man they we go for Siam, go give money and that, give polo, we go for Siam, and go rally, we go for Siam. So that day on, we don't say in Africa for now, until we wash with people the mindset. Because when somebody they like workplace, they work busy one. So go then this day, and then they say that politician they make rally and they left you work. Who say they pull him paycheck for like take care of your family, and left for go dance boo boo. So we're going to get to that one day in Sierra Leone. When they get to that point, say where people go understand. Because anything that way you go tell people say no go dance, they don't go understand what you do. You don't get nothing for do. People sit on a house, you boo boo they play, you don't get work for do. What you do? They go join. The mind is curious, and idle mind is the dwelling place of the devil. So what you would expect? It's not easy, but while people understand, say the vision, then they eventually. Some people, you see, lots of things to discuss. But of course, yesterday we watched the public live hearing, from the Supreme Court, of Sierra Leone, talk about the proportional representation system. Of course, we can deliberate on 90 for point out, key areas and key issues them. But again, I want to remind Sierra Leoneans them before we start that particular topic there are critical things that where some of we still will talk about. Over on this platform, we remind you every day the registration process. We will see how it will be very difficult for people. A lot of we brothers and sisters them. After that August 10 protest, we be run away. Some man come up from the east, go to the west. Some man go Liberia, some man go Guinea. Some man they hide because they put them wanted there. They're not able for register. Then people need a day. We're not able for register. Hundreds of Sierra Leoneans them were able for register. And then we left that back during the registration process itself. We see how they suffer people and we're eligible for register. Where we see with young people them under the one who don't turn 18, wait for turn 18 by June 24. We see where they suffer them. Go take birth certificate. When they go take them, they send out the yellow one. When they carry the yellow one, they send out the blue one. We see them across the country. We don't call for say where the people and they will register. How many Sierra Leoneans right now go tell you say I guarantee for vote? Because for remove matter be not for allow. Like when a politician can when they allow, when they pull out, they were some people they go. They want to not talk for 4 years. Not so that's how they talk. But for remove matter be people get for vote. And the international community now by the votes and get for go and get for the help with because they get for camp for can watch the elections. For sure. But if people not register for vote, how we go pull Marabio? Those are the concerns we'll get. And today, there are hundreds and thousands of people who don't register. We recent neck, Mohamed Kanawe gonna remove over 250,000 names plus. That is 250,000 people. Come on, Sierra Leoneans. 250,000 people. We be see the leader of the opposition and write a letter to say they want an audit for looking to the registration, the verification, all that stuff that day. But to this day, Mohamed Kanawe has not been held accountable. Just like how we will see him back in the court, they're not able for go, they're not able for ask for they take the stand. The Chief Justice protect Mohamed Kanawe like I protect the Attorney General. But we can discuss that in depth. But these are the things that they say. These are the underlying issues. The registration process was a mess. The verification process was a mess. Now 250-something thousand people, their name not in the voter register. Next year they be add some to the final register. We don't know. We want clarity. Some people that until they want for reminder, let us understand. Say these are the situations that we're dealing with.
Even the 157,000 people. Then we go back to Usa. We been start where ABC then be ask people where they not be allowed for vote for me then go goes that go report where they don't 18. Because I get some like 5 people that we call me, they tell me say they are over 18 but they don't be ever allow them for register. Right. People are they ask for the green, the blue, the yellow, the pink, the purple and they don't kind of like go back and when they go on deck, they created the environment for make them they say, okay, we get our wrong, we register on now.
Great question.
And apart from the two, the one that were actually register, but they remove the name and back afterwards. But remember, we had like new voters then when we come, we don't allow them because they say they're getting birth certificates. Did they try? What's not the defense of those people as well?
That is a good question, and that is where we need our opposition leaders, them, for step in and ask these questions. Go across.
No waste powder pan condo. This. Let me just get the people for better go to work for themselves. You never forget say they say parliament cannot do anything.
Absolutely. So people in the water too, una take up on yourself, go na neck, and no say neck even get a sort of like a mobile, app. Where they say people are for use for check their registration. So almost people even know about that particular app playing on their cell phone. They say you don't even need data for check your registration. How much people know how much sensitization they do across the country for the people and verify their registration. So the day of election, because again, all the time they talk, we get for Siam. People they go vote, they say you name no day. We get for Siam. Now the former first lady, Miss Yakoroma, and them go for an Akailaun. When they talk anything there now for let people and wake up. Salon people let we wake up.
Ibrahim, the former first lady ain't get all it takes to make a correct and for instance.
Right.
But trust me, how about the one the way say hey, I can't be more than me, they go learn for go find food from a beginning and go sit down.
Exactly.
They go try for register.
Exactly.
It's very box. The thing is, we don't begin this here even before election, even before the registration. Even before the state, we don't see the all this here. Ibrahim, imagine the example you can firstly they get all to for the time. But imagine if they can take your name, say and go now that this is not to be born. Imagine things will not happen. And the wonderful thing or the travel team, for whatever I see 257,000 and start 200,000, they go 250, they go to now 257 we are talking about. Nobody know now which part they do or they do overvoting or they do on the registration. Nobody know. It's not clear distribution.
Absolutely.
And up to date, we don't know how the registration go by district, by region, by constituency, by ward, even by centers.
Absolutely.
Nobody don't know. They just say 80%. They don't do 80%. They don't put 80%. They're up to date. We don't do 2 weeks. They don't do 2 weeks. They do 2 days. Nothing. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If I want to talk about this is a very big constitutional man. Ibrahim, to be very honest with you, it's very hard to say, but some possible be ashamed, but even call yourself a lawyer because a whole unit, whether they are the cause for the war, will not see things happen now. In fact, the one now for countries are not part of that in the next one. Because what thing happens, Ibrahim? It's terrible. Like it's very simple for chaos. The problem, like I think, the problem in the country, this is a big constitutional misbehavior, Ibrahim.
Absolutely. Comrade Kashi, when they talk about say, hey, that's 257 over-register, you say you get a biometric system. I don't over-register per biometric system. You fingerprints now, you want get into this dunya. Nobody, you twin self where you know twin. I like them born on a quadruplet. I like now on 9 or 10 them born the same day. Everybody fingerprints is different. Now na thumbprints is different. Now they go tell people they say they register twice. Una say una get a biometric system. Una say una invest $10 million towards buying material. But the African Express come and make a very clear say, then thief. They don't even buy the material. They don't spend that money. 30-day Laxton. We don't know if the Laxton in London. We don't know if the Laxton in America. Laxton Corporation, where the African Express reports Cashbox. You begin to research London. Then they go change it later. They go make a level in America. All of these things here, we don't talk anything there. We get
Ibrahim, anything there. It worth pointing out number to make people know. But seriously, Ibrahim, then thing there, we're not for do them to make just people that are aware for say, hey, that's what everybody they do. No. We for do actions them need for follow up these things.
Absolutely.
But the sad thing and the worrying thing, the painful thing, the dreadful thing, Ibrahim, they can say for mass agony for leverage, not to enter the team. Now, who that they go put on a month? Who that they take actions them for all them things they are all they point out to. Now we like what the community they say. It don't like I said that music with the sing. We just they sing normal. We just they meditate on waiting with they say.
Right.
Nothing that they promote behind it. We just they say the people that when they hear they listen and say they are what they go do.
Absolutely.
What they go do. What is the opposition doing? What fix the problem there? Because they just rely on what they say. Oh, the international community. No, are you guys joking?
You know, Kashi, comrade. This is what we're dealing with today in Salon, and that is why our responsibility, as good citizens, them, for ensure say when you see these things that are happening in our nation, for talk, Marabio, maybe the campaign 2017, I own in Ghana, I go do a meeting, I talk and they say Salon people not they talk, they say Salon people, then they talk, but they would say pass something happen. Now maybe make the 1992 situation happen. That the 1992 coup, we can't wait. These are the things we make we continue for point these things out. We know say people every day they do audio, we man then listen, man then get the point, and don't move on to the next day, then they wait for the other one. And this is the problem we get. Who is taking action? Who do they act on these things? Who do they call the members of parliament? Who do they call civil society organizations them? And most people they pick up the phone and say Il Raj, when Andrew Lavali, in your organization and they Carl, when Ibrahim Tomi, Chadi, when Abdul Fatoba, campaign for good governance, when I'm Marcela Samba, I'm on Sierra Leone, and they pick up a phone and call and ask these questions. Say, hey, me I be registered. I don't even know if I register. I don't know if my registration correct because when I go for the registration for go verify, my name not the day, my picture not the day, waiting for do. I'm on Sierra Leone and the documents something they are right and down for future references by tomorrow. I most often they talk to a pastor them. I most often they ask to imam them because these are clergy people when they get a responsibility. They are part of the civil society organization in another country. They are civil society activists them. Then say for advocate on their behalf. These are the things all they settle. Now remind you election don't come. Marabio they go. But also by magic. Detail how they talk so. Now get for Marabio go. Now make una look Marabio even reduce the population of Freetown. They reduce the population by 42% now. Freetown, Western, Urban. That's the rural, just the Western Urban, the heartland of Freetown itself. They say that 600,000 people inside Freetown. Hey, boy. Well, we also get 1.5 to 2 million people just inside Freetown. All the people will come out upline after the war. We can settle. The young man them 30 they all man can on the big tongue because people are either open. Then they get cell phone. Nobody know again. No young man or young woman again. No one in a village. They want their way for make life for themselves. All man they kind of big city. All man in a Freetown choke, Freetown crowded. You don't get space, go to Dovecourt, go to Kinjimi, go inside, you see how the place choke and tight. All because they get the motive. They reduce the population. All are because they want to rig the elections. So Salon people, these are the things so they tell you now, they ask every day, they remind you now. In as much as we see the Supreme Court, they open up an investigation, they open up give a live hearing on the proportional representation because this SSA choke them. They choke them. Because the PR system not for even be a debate, Boku. The Supreme Court for us sit down there and go accordingly and interpret black and white, section 38, subsection 4, then see how many day. Constituencies have a lifespan of 5 to 7 years. Now, common sense. The constituencies they won't get right now.
When you say they do them live, so you see, this is the reason why we can tell people and people of relevance, people we get stake in society. We all get stake na Salon, but stake past stake. They say man past man.
Right.
I tell you one thing, Ibrahim. Abdullah Conte intervention with this thing make they get no choice. I tell you one thing, if not be there, other lawyers there, with no disrespect, but because they know the man where it be. You see what they do? Not only at times they can say they did a video inside court. Not only they do that, not only they call the case, they video the case inside court.
Yep.
Because the kind of caliber of person will push this case.
Absolutely.
This is the reason when they tell people and we always they push people and say, Una talk. Before they go tell we say, oh, what's they go do? They go bulldoze them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Some people are going to laugh from this.
That is a great point. and going to Dr. Ablayo content opening, of course, a lady matter, a lady case. And these are things we've been saying already over the years, because for when they come with this PR system. But of course, it make it very, very easy for less salon people in Siam. I not say not so everybody can understand English, but for brother and sister them, now everything we want to talk about Creole, the constitution. How they got it violates not only the constitution, the public elections laws them as well, like the nation, the neck way power, the kind where neck feels say get power. Mohammed can I wake on it. It feels like gets so much power that they can't tell everybody how election should be conducted with a parliamentary responsibility than they. But anyways, Kashi and come let go through security here quick and then okay, so I'm not first.
Yeah, come on, you want to inside because like
Kashi, one of the things we may say, we know say we don't have for talk, we know whoever have for talk because as we can say, like fight for long haul. But if people them don't do and they're not so long ago, but say the parliament. Let us support to the parliament not allow some topic like the cash box, for even counter for discussion. Let's Dr. Abdullah come to say yesterday, he say number 2, after the fire smart office, submit to our thing. He said this time they counter court to they don't make they don't get a dialogue before even then they attempt to follow if it's right or it's wrong. Because for what being important here, I put them down to say, hey, what is they for do? What is they put for do? Not for do so this to do. What is they for do? They're not going to go to the Supreme Court dinner. For who then we interpret constitution. People be saying that they make law. Now we go for good on the court. We interpret the law.
This point really makes so when that Safa Abdullah did make a point, it was emphasizing on parliament where pass the law and stuff like that. It was emphasizing on that. This is
Kashi.
When are they listening to this? Sorry, God.
Kashi, why make you emphasize on that? He said, "Don't say if the parliament will not do this, we know they even can have order for Kashi on there." Cash box, something them there.
How about the fact that they bulldoze parliament?
Yeah, they bulldoze parliament. Cash box. When we go from that statement to bulldoze?
Yeah.
When will they go from that statement to bulldoze? When?
Well,
cash box until the parliament. When you say this, no. When you say this, no. Kashi, they must not compare Ghana and Salon. Ghana, when the parliament say one bulldozer for let the government do that, they don't go make press conference. When they go to parliament until we do the needful thing.
Thank you.
When around the country as one party state.
Thank you.
Kashi,
Let me tell you something. So if parliament had worked out, even the case where Dr. Abdullah considered, remember, they were talking specifically about acting in good faith. So in a way, they emphasize on that point, acting in good faith, because again, you see, if parliament had worked out, this is not the point where they say, if we had resigned on our position, the court would have argued and say, look now, because they've not said the bad thing that will happen to it. But again, the parliament did not give the court enough, or the plaintiff enough for argument. Like there were so many points.
Kashi, let me tell you something. Yes. If I don't get effects at any Saturday, I don't make any effect or any changes. I'll quit.
Are you okay?
They go to this or do that. So, if you want me to appreciate you, see what I do well. Kashi, they cannot let for do. No. What's the point?
No, but
if you cannot make an effect,
it might not say like the view different from yours, different from Ibrahim, different from people's power. I would leave.
No, Kashi, public. If you are serving the nation. If you are serving the nation, if you cannot make positive change, then service with you better left. Exactly. But then it's not for say they get all the energy. Say parliamentarians and they suffer. They for pay them all 120 members of parliament agree say they for pay them $50,000. But they cannot disagree for say this thing. They get for cost. I can remember vividly on the break one say talk, and it was very silent. He said, "No, make laws there. Wait tomorrow. We'll never go for the history or the lawyer." He said it's vividly on the in one of his submissions of the full parliament. So, Kashi, all that we do so, trust me.
Absolutely.
The foundation that from the parliament starts. But we say don't play. Because always they say, no more, they see them. The two with the social, they say, if we have been on full left parliament, say no. Either they come or they come to already which time I cut again.
Absolutely.
This is a very big constitutional misbehavior. Because of Brother Ibrahim. Where is the Attorney General? Where they run to the kitty parliament? They talk, they mix to where? Because the principal advisor to governments, like him, on law issues them, on constitutional matters them. Where are Kashi? And they talk, if they represent them. But parliament, then go submit. He do wrong submission as a lawyer. So what did Attorney General Ibrahim? Wrong submission.
Absolutely.
It's these guys. Let me tell you something, Ibrahim. Let go sorry for Salud. First, what is in a lawyer? You're a big man. Now, we don't for yourself again. Trust me, some of them, most of them. Because if you see, then we argue. But when they all know say exactly wrong, they all, be you defendant who, be you prosecutor who, be you this who, be you judge who. Everybody knows it's wrong, Ibrahim. Wrong na wrong.
Yeah.
White na white, black na black.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, Conrad and Kashi, you know, this whole case, we take him for what it is at this particular point in time. But for them, Mohamed Kanawe Kone, as the defendant of this matter in the Attorney General, they all too able for take the stand. For left, first of all, like how JFK beginner, but he was not, stay on that. Move that motion with stern, to say, let the commissioner can't take a stand now can't tell we exactly why, first of all the letters that we wrote to him for ask him, for let's show with the directive where the president gave him, that proclamation document we always only talk about, why respond to the letters that the rights to him. You see where this guy is not getting no respect for institutions, blatantly, answer them. They send letter upon letter and answer them. But I wish they should have taken a stand, say, even before we come now for we matter come forth. We want to have these guys understand under oath. Mohamed Kana we connect under oath for take a stance, na the stand, let them question her. Because the thing is this man say, the president said and say, if we use the PR system. What if it be a big deal for like Canada stand for can defend that point today? If you really believe in what he say. There shouldn't be no problem, man.
That's a very good point where JFK make there, where he say, like, it's how we say, like, they don't write letter, I think about 3 letters, and what he say. He said not once they replied to them for the president's declaration. Because he was trying to make that point where that Safa Abdullah, some of them guys there, I don't know how they can go study law, bruh. Like, when they try to make the point, I'm not saying you're a lawyer, that you walk that one, you need for defend, whether you see the blatant wrong, you get for talk up. But this is about the nation. I think Abdullah Conte make the point, say, this thing, they shape the security of the country. The only thing where I'll be disappointed a little bit with JFK, Ibrahim, you see, sometimes you see, like, let we pay attention and let we follow up where people and they say things them. JFK make one point where he say, like, now that they try to use the old census and then try to join these new census into it. And then, like, Safa Abdullah say, oh, well, may prove. But the proof is there, Ibrahim. You remember?
Absolutely.
When the mayor make the point, say, the way they kind of like gets like the number of local councils and all that, they say they add the new census plus the old census. It's documented.
Absolutely.
It's say that to the mayor, and they actually put the calculation that way. JFK should have got that information and say, this is the proof. I was sitting here watching this guy, they make that submission. They had to withdraw that statement. But no, there was proof, enough proof. Where if we say the mayor tell they say they add the old census, add the new census, and then they divide that by 2.
Absolutely.
So it is there.
Absolutely. But that's a great point, Kashi, by the way. But sometimes brother Jeff cannot be get time for calculate those numbers and sometimes
because I mean it's all convoluted and
yes,
so many things
it's messy.
So you cannot fault him for that.
Right. It's a messy situation. But Usai all we I feel I'm way not continue and stay on that trajectory was the fact that if for demand Kone and the Attorney General for take the stand, they before take the stand from the beginning and question them. It's a live hearing. Now then people are saying they defend this matter, so let them come now, can talk to Salon people. Mohamed Kanawe Kone, this guy has gotten away with so much. Mohamed Kanawe Kone, now the same man this way take to the parliament not summon him for go and give a public and live hearing. Let people in Salon hear. This is what you would only ask for all this time. Let this man from your mouth, like I tell we that the president authorize him, and let show with the directives of the president. Me, that one case there, that's all this is predicated on. That one case there for me, that is where the case lies. Where is the document? How somebody go come and say the president don't authorize him for use a PR system? Again, this is not to some rumba business where you go tell the man say, go use PR system. Mohamed Kanaya, I don't talk on the other day, I talk back. Mohamed Kanaya, that mother be recalled Mohamed Kanaya, Kanaya ba. But yeah, just use the PR system, yeah. Not to say they work.
Yeah.
Not to say they work. This is not a governmental issue. This get for do with constitution again. How them blatantly circumvent with constitution. And this is some of the things we Dr. Abdullahi content and talk about. We, of course, I appreciate that's inside in it. It is circumventing the constitution. Go around the constitution, altering the constitution. Then they use statutory instruments instead of they use legislative, tools for make sure say they want to amend the constitution. They make an amendment to the constitution. But the constitution is very clear. Our boundaries them get a lifespan of 5 to 7 years. And then guy there, 30 day cash and comrade, they can talk earlier at the background there. They can still conduct this boundary delimitation if they want for do. The only thing is, it not go take effect now. Because especially if they get new boundaries and new constituencies, and they will take effect in 2028, the next elections. Because again, these boundaries will get in these constituencies, then go to 2024. But they can still conduct them. Matter of fact, that's not crime safe in itself because then they're derelict and duty. Why would they pay them salary for them for doing the job them? Yes, we agree say the timing is all off, but that is on them. That is responsibility. It means they are not organized. They're not structured.
One point they emphasize on where Abdullahi Safari, Safa Abdullahi, whatever, where they emphasize. I sound them so childish. Like how you go sit down and say, okay, because like ECSL or statistics, again, Ibrahim, like the point you have made, if you listen to Sabah Abdullah, it was trying to indict statistics. You see, this is the thing where we can always talk about institutions. In the time for indict, that is it what's his name? Abdullah Bangura, the head of statistics.
PPRC, Sanko.
Sanko, Abdullah Sanko, isn't it?
No, Professor Sanko, I think Malam Sanko or something. Anyway, Kashi, I think that's Sanko no more. Yes, go Sanko, they will correct you later.
The head of statistics, where it's guy will tell us, the judge, one of the judge, I think it was the Chief Justice, where ask and say, you knew about, say, election game for Apple since 2018.
Yep.
Why would I not prepare enough?
That was a good point.
Make the point, say, well, statistics, if statistics not do their work properly, then they go according to what statistics say. But my points now, yeah, in the table emphasize, say, like, waiting the 7,000 people and they with them, they say, kind of like, waiting up in this world, the density or whatever of the population.
Right.
But Ibrahim, every day, if we still want to say, well, we want to get like up-to-date information, there was a reason, or there is reason why make them say 5 to 7 years. Because at the end of the day, if you say you want to change up as with time, then every day we need to do like boundary delimitation because somebody go on born, somebody go on die. Every day. So in a way, for when they say 5 to 7 years, it means like 7 years, it's good enough time. And the last time they do like a delimitation was in 2017, correct?
Yeah, 2017. Yeah.
So the 7 years, they elapsed next year. So there was a people who want to do boundary delimitation with the new census, but he still do have in the background. But the last boundary delimitation gets they say 5 to 7 years, but 7 years is the maximum. So that is still
Quand c'est encore dans 7 years, then the ticket say, no matter what happens, any country can problem. In Barbati, before the system on a pronounce to la we go back to normalcy. So in case if more than the 7 years, because they do they learn from the past one we get, they will be last 11 years. So if in case it more than 7 years now, that automatically when I run the entire country to 1.20. But cash box every day 5 years not completed. Because the 5 years for complete. In inside November that will be complete last year. Now will be complete. And Abraham only speak one point say if you see don't put election dates, the date don't come out. There is no one that adjust anything again before be after the election now.
Absolutely.
Because I want to show of constituencies and they correct. Let me pull dates for elections.
Absolutely.
Hence, I don't proclaim from the so they done at the election. Meaning, when I don't make sure say everything will make election happen. They in place. Then before you announce the date of election, they cannot check everything: the finances, the equipment, the personnel they use, the question, the boundary, everything happen. Now you look based on that they put okay, well, based on all those who don't know say for putting place for election. Let me show date. So let's say that the election now June 24, 2023 this year. Now because all that have been correct. None of it will remind us. Because if anything remind us, don't this or this.
Absolutely.
And 1 year to election, when I pull the team, there's nothing on thing like we need to alter anything, everything that concern abuse.
Right.
Because what you look at don't do that here before I pull it. One of them will say, I began a long time ago, Ibrahim.
And at this,
it make months.
Yeah. And comrade,
even the only person I don't know 1 year to time, I don't shoot it. Okay, yes. But you don't shoot it now. The way you don't shoot it, the president gives talk like we go into PR system. We do the favor just because they want for get eggs the parliament. The simple thing, the only party backed by the opposition, they all take advantage of this PR system because of most of the MPs and they go into this the constituency-based election, that the constituencies and nobody did not appoint them, nobody did not know themselves. So they all took advantage on using this PR system because they give their edge for good on political heads at the constituency, we allow them back for good parliament. Both parties. So MPs are the ruling party right now, no one says in the constituency, chocolates in position now. So they all took advantage of the fact that the PR system is about us. Now for we, not for nobody, for we. We can understand this thing, Ibrahim.
Absolutely.
Because why una show this for election and not see all the time minus? Una not say una not get better machine for register full. Una go show this for election. Una not say una not get better member for work and una go show this for election. Let me say something, Ibrahim. The expert forget for see what inside this election will happen. That will to see do the registration. If registration get for go to this level, imagine single parties inside election. All in a form of rigging. We don't people along to say rigging not to election they do a night process. If they rig election, where before pulling in I just for sure you want to say pull the register. Then Lord will not say we don't put it here, right? If people be not sitting here, we are not saying that we be member of parliament. We say that hey, we will prepare this side the license to the modern parliament and do all kinds of things. We don't say that we get 200% hold there for the when we have in a salon that they will hold. That they did a parliament and say and not get we and why is it money? If you not get for defend the people, then it's the same way you don't forget for sister. The same you know, I left of parliament. And I was never born in parliament, and I'm not start with that in parliament. Let me left with dignity, Ibrahim. But no, that part of the also MP designer was just because of something. We look at MP now. We in the cinema, if you watch photography on phone, they stay in the parliament. You resign. You don't have parliament for 20 years. They resign. They say, I'm not peace. I'm getting more represent people any longer. We like the Speaker of Parliament in legal if you go out. It's still a precise or wrong thing as a law. Ibrahim, we get it wrong from day one.
Yeah.
We have it wrong clearly. You see, if you don't want to go today for good to the front, I'm going to talk at it, we're not for long now, we don't get the open conversation of this year. We're not talk to Parliament. Now they go for interpret. What is all of them? No, the Attorney General, the principal advisor on policies and the question, they go present this year. Then you go now, you send somebody for good for them. That man, those who can go to the document of parliament for go present and for go reason why make the team fine. Now, in the for go argue. Who say in the even for that advice government say no, this thing party still on so. Now, in them in charge for the concept of treason, where they know say it's not right. They know that advice government pass and don't pass and feel. Well, I want to see Madam Bioge for do this right. Like I do, so as that woman. Because when you for advice government, the government go dismiss a court. You that on the ground. When I don't lost that job straight. Why if we keep right now? Why they not bring a cancer? Okay, Attorney General, like you can go to the parliament. You very well know as a lawyer. Somebody don't practice law for long. Somebody don't turn out the criminal advisor to government. Very well know it's wrong. Why you not be advised government first? You not be don't let you put the interpreter. Why you not be say no? This don't do so. Don't get a compensation. If the constitution the president's right, equally see and this right here, you get to follow procedures, Ibrahim. Yeah. Why you not follow them? They're not reference. You get the right, but follow these procedures. Then will make you right. You right the guarantee. Why not one?
Yep.
So this is the fact, Ibrahim. The constitution the president's rights, but equally again I tell us again because you get right to, but the procedures that A, B, C, and D will follow. If not, you know they do this here. Why not advise? As I told you, somebody like that.
If they don't get a condition to a right, then it means it's not democracy. Now dictatorship will depart. Because
no, it didn't catch it. The constitution, they said the constitution. Say the president get right for do this here, but equally get right for do by right. They say equally before you right for follow A, B, C, and D. He did it. For every proclamation president do, they tell you for before do the proclamation. He did it. He did the cash box. You know they just grab from like say, "I'm ready to government today." Tomorrow you grab from my put law like say, "Na jungle today." You will see no more today. Let no sleep. Let nobody grab. Till 3 o'clock. No. We are in a democratic state. This democracy people don't die for them. People don't for them. People don't die for them. Even 2008, people they sell their life for this and say, no, we don't pay for democracy. You need to jeopardize them. Cash box. Nobody know the way big or small. Pass the law. The law of the land. Now we all for respect. This now blatant. But let's say something. And this thing for continue because. We don't get a whole set of people who they allow say, hey, we government the bulldoze. So long as Madam Bill come out, we get 6 pass Madam Bill. In second, that's the same thing. Hey, the bulldoze. How long are we going to live? If it's a bulldozer, like your example, Donald Trump for bulldoze America election. But with America, with the people don't say it's not possible. The one we don't know, including the vice president, he got excuse. Bulldozer who for campaign listen to entertain cash box. That's the truth. We no get space for say bulldozing.
Absolutely.
Why would allow like this to bulldoze Ibrahim? Bulldoze all over the world.
No.
It's all over the world, yeah. But it's just in one bulldoze. What is it for command? Then first, let's say not possible. You don't can't go. This trust we come. You need a bulldoze. That's democracy. Not truthful and defend for. Democracy would defend them. Democracy, then they die for them. Only they get that cheap. So if we don't die for democracy, don't call for democracy, they're not the woman for democracy, they don't kill people for democracy, no more players for democracy, able to why make people not defend this democracy now? Oh, now because the family with the family, not the family, they're not killing the family, most of them do overseas. And they go overseas and they go Msg Jan. We don't have democracy, people can die for them. Ibrahim, Kashmos. So there's no excuse for them to say, then they bulldoze parliamentarians. No.
Absolutely. You know, comrade, there are critical points the way you raise, and Ekachi. And so for me, it goes back again to some of these points. Where the proclamation document, where the directive from the president. When I see Marabio not allow for let we see that document if it exists or where at this point it's like it don't even exist. Because Marabio no say again, section 108 of the constitution make it very clear. Say any alteration of this constitution is a treasonable offense. Marabio knows. So you know one thing and Prince by this, if when I look all this way that happens, so now we don't commit this treasonous act for circumvent the constitution. They go bypass through parliament using parliamentarians them for them come and violate this constitution the constitution. This is a constitutional blunder. This is a constitutional crisis in any nation. We see it happen in other country them when it can't happen. We don't see them in Mali. We don't see them across the region recently. Guinea, next door neighbor. Overthrow because of waiting a constitutional crisis. Third time, not third time. We see them, it happen. You know, we see Mali and Burkina Faso and all these other countries, militaries are taking over because of them kind of thing. This is why militaries intervene across most of these countries because of these constitutional violations. And again, this thing are black and white. Then guy come out and circumvent parliaments, then left parliament, where they no say because they didn't forget they win a parliament. Marabio say, okay, ain't go do a proclamation. But to this day, Marabio fingerprints not the Palestinian. Marabio be involved in a coup. Then God make to this day, they're not prosecuting for a coup because na coup. When a person commits a coup, it's a coup. They can always go back and prosecute you for coup because it's treasonous. But to this day, you know, face prosecution. But now I don't learn a lesson going back and look and say, you know what? Now this time I not go put me handy, me face not go today. And Timwame can always say that the president say, where the proof? Anybody get proof? Let's say we won't charge anybody for treason right now. We go for charge Marabio. No, we're not going for charge Marabio because we don't get evidence. So we need the evidence. I know what they'll take we eyes away. Dr. Ablayo Conte and JFK and partners, that is the fundamental thing that we for pay attention to. We need that proclamation. We need that president instruction. We need in directive because we need that in the matter of fact, that for be like exhibit one, Exhibit 1, it is the declaration, the instruction from the president to Wamekana in this whole case. So this whole thing about the Supreme Court bringing this here in life, for me, again, it's just another charade for present themselves to the international world. Like, you know, it's
right. You see, when you talk about like another kind of like gimmick, another charade, look. Do you really trust these judges? And not to say something, I trust their integrity, but would fear factor kick in? Would like the president kind of like decide to go kind of like give them handsome shake hand? We do not know because again now they don't adjourn the case. Who knows what's in the happen in the background? Who knows if the president get to see them people there and say sometimes they're afraid for their lives, say, oh, if we rule against the president or the government, then they come after we, or they go begin the president right now, they go kind of like tell them and move fast and dash them money when they don't ever seen in their life. Ibrahim, do you trust the system? You know, this is the problem. You really feel saying then thing they go kind of like we go get fair judgment? I do not know.
Kashi, you want me to be honest with me? My honest opinion on this whole thing? This matter should be kicked out of court right now. And the Supreme Court would just come back with the ruling and say, hey, listen, guys, first of all, we don't even have to talk about this because we don't get term again for change election laws now we country. There are constituencies existing at this particular point because the constituency then gets a lifespan of 5 to 7 years. And the last boundary delimitation was done in 2017. This is the ruling now again. So I tell you how to do the work, but
Ibrahim, but again, it go back to my question.
Right.
Do you would have kick the case out of court? Like the Babatunde Edwards and McBrown and all that in
they have. Now them.
We refuse to come and bill.
Absolutely.
Deliberately na court. Babatunde also they look there here. we say you go talk. Let me tell you something, Casmos. The man na false system. You know what's happening? Now go to my bed. Let me fix this alone. Na like they we nobody the table pick them. Hey, we don't tell them say anything before they write would on it. As the one writes would already do what's in the right. Because like we say, matter of fact, what's the economic do this conversation 1 year ago? We don't have best president. We already say no Palestine, no this. One of can interpret the thing. We not get right for put an be law. One of don't do 2 years ago. No one do. We put an be law. Pauper. It's an act, Ibrahim. An act that is facile, the Constitution. It's an act.
Absolutely.
Just like the Clean and Lively Law Act, it is facile inside the Constitution. How one can take now an act for campus onto the Constitution, Ibrahim?
Absolutely.
Why don't you go for interpretation? Why don't you go for interpretation? Let go. It's an act. Those who say that law is an act.
The Supreme Court will interpret the Constitution. Would they actually interpret the Constitution in a just way, a fair way?
No, let me tell you something, because the one there, anything they do now, like surprise story, they do right thing.
Exactly.
We all know agree as it is to see.
This guy, we don't see the thing the way they do. Now they allocate cases, then we see how they play with the opposition. We see how they kind of like, Kamarima, the Chief Justice, you sit up. You don't say Kamarima, then Apanema will take to. So how do we get like that thing the way we say like people and they will get like they listen to politicians and Babatunde Edwards. Look at the thing the way they don't do. When you really feel this is not an opportunity for men to turn money man them because like now the government can go begin to dash them small thing for rule in their favor. Who knows? I do not know.
Kashi, I would hope not. I remain to be optimistic, thinking say we have people, especially like we this one on social media, they call their attention.
What's the reason for being optimistic? What's the reason for your optimism? Because the reason why I say that,
I got you.
Look again, people let they change, but look at their records. Right. Look at the people that they don't kill like unjustly, like like the thing that will happen with them, saying MPs, them, they're all in the Cameroon, Mansare, the LJ. The list goes on. The people that will protest. Look at them, Ibrahim. Where is the optimism?
My optimism, Kashi. You see, the Supreme Court Justice will be sitting on the right-hand side of. I wish whenever they turn the camera at them, they put them in there.
Yes, I agree.
The guy that was sitting on the right-hand side of Babatunde Edwards.
Yes.
It sounds very, very fair.
That's true. I agree. Now we talk because, like, in the person way. Even when Babatunde Edwards, when I think Jeff came in, they make a point where the guy say like the primary legislature and then legislation, then like Babatunde Edwards be kind of like say well at the Constitution, and then Jeff was making the point and say well even they act them as well or something like that. Then the guy gave kind of like cancel and say well the guy talk say these are subsidiary legislation. Then he said we get for look at like this. So it's a process. I know the guy when you talk. It starts like the right hand side of Babatunde Edwards.
Yes.
It's true. It sounds really positive. But Ibrahim, like they say to anything, there is a price. And it's like I say, we judge them all get price, bruh. Integrity is not that price anymore. Now, couple. You know, couple, nine at the price. How think the man of the color? Color, nine at the price.
Yeah, Kashi, I want for, because, I trust these guys. Remember, we don't get this conversation once where I say I trust them and I believe they will do the right thing. So this point, not do what we expect as Sierra Leone and say them, don't kick this case out, first of all. Because again, why for even sit down for engage this matter? Why for encourage this particular matter? If at the end of the day, materially, time is not on our side. This is not like we get 2 years to election or 1 year to election. Okay, then we can get time for entertain this kind of a thing. This is less than 5 months to elections. So why we for change the election laws? For say the Supreme Court, because Kashi, I'm waiting until I read a verdict, and then ultimately I think say Oga for come now with the strong brush now for come brush them down. But at this particular point, I give them that leverage because again, I know say 1 or 2 of them very fair, and hopefully they'll put sense. Now the others they hate them, including the Chief Justice himself, for realize say, hey, this thing we're not for encourage this matter. There's no time now. Lord put out a ruling. Section 38, subsection 4, constituencies still exist. Then get a lifespan of 5 to 7 years. What is the point for law we come now again for kind engage this kind of a conversation? We're not going for change the election laws them. Let we keep the election as it is, constituency-based elections. We get members of parliament them. They go represent and go seek for the representation of the constituencies them. Because again, the constituency is good till 2024. So why for change that there is no reason. And then we look why they amend. Then they ask themselves the question, why was the constitution amended in 2001 for make provision elections for then get the district block or proportional representation system. Now, because again, in 1996, before Tijan Kabakam, when Marabiote overthrew 1992 to 1996, we know we get a constitution. Now, by decree, they go. So until after the elections, then realize, say, you know what, we get, because of that, the law make up for the fact that we don't use a system of elections. We know they inside with constitution. But again, it was condition precedents because of war within the country. They look for access certain areas. Them all in here, I think, said the Supreme Court in the ruling, now for take for justify in a society. If now America, this is what will happen. If now England, because again, we want for time like then country there, we compare all the when it comes to good things, they say, oh, America, this and that. But when it comes to terrible things, that anyone compare, they compare the good things, but the bad, anyone compare. They say petroleum in America, oh, petroleum in America, but America gets 24 electricity, and they talk about that. And so these are the things where the Supreme Court justice system for look at.
Petroleum in America, Biden, petrol price, I don't go down sooner.
Exactly.
Super.
Then they talk ourselves again.
Then they sell at 19,000.
Yes. Then they talk at a salon self. Then they talk no. Yes. No. Yes, you see, so these are the things. So the Supreme Court Justice Kashi, that is why I say I'm optimistic, because again, sometimes the next year, therefore kick this matter out. This matter is not even materially evident anymore, materially important to Sierra Leoneans at this particular point in time, because time is not on our side. They cannot change election laws 6 months to elections. So at this particular point, for say they will allow the Supreme Court will allow Parliament for use a statutory instrument for violate and contravene the Constitution, because we know so this is not a constitutional issue. We go use a subsidiary legislation for go, and that is, if you listen to that guy again, the judge on the right hand side, it mentioned that day. It talks about the subsidiary because of it. When JFK was explaining, Babatunde was the interrupter. So now he come inside for clarify. Say he's talking about a subsidiary legislation as opposed to a constitutional, So it gave me hope. It gave me hope, Kashi.
But it's just one. And remember the 5 judges on the bench, like in one grade. No go again. Was he saying these things? So like the press, the government will kind of like keep an eye, say, oh, this is not the possible need for go lock him out. Yeah, and you do not know the tactics from these guys, Ibrahim.
Well,
I was really impressed with him.
Yeah.
But is he going to first of all, if he say no, now 4 against 1.
And Kashi,
if other people I do not know.
Yeah, Kashi, I understand your angle where you come from, right? I know we as Africans, the way we people cooperate, it's very easy for make get a stance. But for me, which I would say, I don't want to go for perception as much as until they improve themselves. You know what I mean? Okay. Yes, that's my only thing. But I know what you to talk because so man, they make noise they and then go quiz them. I get that. When they go put them something.
When they pass the ruling, would they tell us how many people say for and against? Because in America, they tell you say
yes.
Like 3 say no.
Yeah.
3,
6 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
6 3 ruling.
Tell us?
Yeah. And hopefully they will be clear enough for tell we how they vote that vote day. But I think at this particular point in time, Kashi, we should go back to our constituency-based elections. The Supreme Court for uphold the Constitution and make sure the Supreme Court, the responsibility now wouldn't get on their shoulder is this. It's very critical for them, the Chief Justice system. That then at the last line, where if finally this treason is committed, it didn't aid as well. They're the last line in this treasonous act because then get a responsibility now for put an end to this treason. Why? Then guys, they are going to Parliament for go pass a PR. It was opposed. Abbas Bundu talk and clear. He say anybody you change hype on this constitution self in a treasonous crime. A pull and the deputy speaker, he said the president get power for do. Una look Marabio, 30 days, we not get a directive from the president. Mohammed can I connect tomorrow? If they ask Marabio today, say, now you tell this man, Marabio can say, no, not to me. Now you know, the operator I want for operate, but the mistake will make him for don't come out and can talk, say no to me, tell her. But no man, not be one for interfere because they doing your work as independent. But Marabio can pull it on this particular one, and he not ready because we not see the directive from the president, signed by President Bill to instruct him. So the Supreme Court get a very powerful place and role for playing this particular matter for stop this treason right now.
It's worth reminding the judiciary and waiting the TIC reports say we always say
absolutely.
The judiciary and the police.
Absolutely.
But the primary people that we cause the night according to the TIC report.
Yeah. The main cause. The main cause of the war. The main cause of the war. And that is why I say, again, I get hope in these guys because, again, these guys, I don't have to be a lawyer. Cashbox not for be a lawyer or communicator or any Sierra Leonean need for be a lawyer for read the Constitution and understand that. But again, would I get the authority for interpret the Constitution? That is Supreme Court. So again, we're not telling them, but even legal minds and scholars, them that is part of the world, they always need advice from people around them as well. You don't have to have a lawyer license for able to make sense out of what somebody they talk. So this already gives on a free service for guide this justice system, because sometimes these people they can be so isolated from life. So audios like this can help them, because they're able to interact with everybody, but at least then they get opportunity for listen to me, listen to Cashbox, listen to Koita, listen to other people on social media, right? We're able for pick sense from not for the nonsense, but the sense. They're able for listen and say, you know what, that young man, this thing they say, so I don't be seeing from this point of view, but why they don't talk, so I don't see them. That is how we live in society. That is how we all live to learn every day. Nobody knows happy pass anybody. I can tell any of these guys whether a lawyer them. I don't know for any other person. I can challenge any lawyer and any law court. Hey, because I read the same book we read. I read them. I don't get license no more for practice law and I don't go to law school. But I came for challenging a court by any matter. If the need arise for defend me safely or defend, any issue, I can go to any court of law, because I don't really understand what they talk. So I'm going to talk on the fact. So these are the things what they say to the Supreme Court. Then Tia will point out for call their attention, say, now the last line is, and at them get that last line is, that therefore protect the Constitution now. Within the Apisona Salon is a treason right now. Section 108, subsection 8, circumventing the Constitution, altering the Constitution. It's a treasonable offense. And with the sitting guys, they are going to Parliament for go past this, work. They use a statutory instrument where we already get a constitutional amendment, a constitution, part of the Constitution, we get to do with that particular directive day. If you want for change them, you have to come back, because again, when you read that section 38A1, it makes them very, very clear. It say at the time when elections are announced, and when President Bio announced the election, say elections are going to be held, constituencies exist. So, but the 31A, it make provision for say, at the time when elections are announced and there are no constituencies existing, that is when the president may consult with NEC to say to use the PR system. So when I say the English language in black and white, it's very simple. When President Bio had announced the elections, constituencies existed at the time. So what's into the constituency then? When now President Bio said not for use them, they want for use the PR system. And we all know the reason.
Some of all lens in there, you see, make you always say conscience, something.
Absolutely.
The judiciary know how much like they get for the role where they get for develop salon. Ibrahim, that thing where we can say respect a passport food.
Absolutely.
Then people get look like yesterday, whilst they were sitting like on this case, Susan's Bay was on fire, Ibrahim.
See?
No fire brigade not able to access through like inside Susan's Bay.
No.
Fire did they take place there?
Kashi.
Houses were burned down. Poor people are back there, host them back. Don't get the run blood.
If I have the authority, it's a national declaration, my brother. National emergency, Kashi. Nobody know for leave that area already. I swear to God, Kashi, if we make them nobody. Hey, Kashi,
I went to Portugal, Lisbon. You see, some of them build the area that they use it for tourism. People make millions of dollars there every year, Ibrahim. You know what? Like, you don't get access. Why still we're sitting on this case? Like, people, their lives, they be destroyed. It will not mess one at the pan. Waste of taxpayers' money. So, until we're at the Constitution, Susan's Bay was on fire yesterday, Ibrahim. Houses were being burnt down. Fire brigade not able to access them because we won't know the outside for pass for go quench the fire. No, Ibrahim. But yet still they were sitting there. There are things that would destroy the country and reputation. This is what we fight. We would fight for. This is the reason we do what we do, Ibrahim.
Absolutely.
But people do not understand. We want to build salon image, a reputation, where like we give access to every country. Any sideway fire brigade, Ibrahim, that part of the world there, any sideway fire brigade not able to access, you need to build hosting.
Absolutely.
They assess it.
Yes.
They assess it. And this is why, like, whilst they were sitting there, making like laws that would destroy the country and reputation. We can't deal with democracy no better. Then we kind of like go put in a PRC system where they compromise the democracy back.
Absolutely.
Right?
Take away the power from the people. How you would think of taking away the power from the people?
Exactly.
And when all of these people, you can access these people, but you want to take them power at the hand. All the community there with it, nobody know to stop you. There is no roadblock, no rebel war, no fat, no. You access all these people, but you want to take the power from the people. The Supreme Court for consider all the things there, Kashi. Therefore, consider all of this. How can you take the power away from the people when the people are again? Section 5, subsection 2 of the Constitution makes it very clear. It says sovereignty belongs to the people. The government derives its legitimacy, its authority, and its power from the people. Now the people get power, Akashi. Why you want to take the power from the people? For use PR system.
It's a good point, Ibrahim. You know, like that's either when you quote under the Constitution. So if you work out with PR system, then remove that side of the is it Section 5?
Yeah, subsection 2, yeah.
So take away Section 5 of the Constitution and then put the PR system inside.
Exactly. Again, condition precedent. Liberia, then be used proportional representation. Waiting do because they said they get war. After the war, to this day they not touch them. Why did you go touch them? Why for create a constitutional crisis? But again, Marabio create a constitutional crisis, but the directive will not get to Absalom people.
Yes.
Will not get a letter. Usai Marabio sign the proclamation and forget a seal of the president. Where is that letter? For me, Kashi, there is no case in front of the Supreme Court if we not get a letter there. There is no case. The Supreme Court not even tolerate the matter if that particular letter is not there, because that is the beginning of the case. Are you the beginning case?
But you see, this is where the old thing starts. This is the reason why I do not trust these 5 judges.
Kashi, they don't know.
That's me. I do not trust.
Kashi.
I know, like you know, but they don't give me too many instances. Therefore, make another place to.
Kashi.
Maybe September kind of like beats me this time around.
Kashi, they don't know.
Wrong.
Kashi, they didn't point out they make so they don't see him from that angle. They don't see him from that perspective, but they are seeing it now. Believe me, my brother. And they say they know. I want to believe so they don't see him from that angle there. But we don't talk as well, then go see him, Kashi. Because how you go, that is like the principal evidence. That's like the principal exhibit of the matter. Kashi, if you go with case in a court, now this part of the world and across the world, that's the same way it happen. Say murder case. The most important thing, first of all, what they need. Weapon was involved. Which is the weapon they use for commit the crime? Na hammer, na knife, na cutlass. That is like a primary exhibit. If you get forget, a positive prosecution on the part of the complainant, them if they get for rule in their favor, you get for submit all of these evidences. The weapon, you get for give motive. So all of these things. So how proclamation document the directive from the president? If you're not there, why for sit down for the case? Again, the Supreme Court for kick the case out of court. Yep. Where is the proclamation? Babatunde Edwards and all the chief justices them. If we're not be seeing from this angle, we don't bring them to our attention now. That is the primary evidence for this whole case. Where is the proclamation document? I want to see the directive from the president, because until we see the directive, there is nothing. Who is Mohamed Kana Wekona? He's a NEC commissioner. He's not going to come here and tell us no, say that's how they do elections. No, it does not have that power. Mohamed Kana Wekona not get power past parliament. So the Supreme Court justice system, if you don't see it from this perspective, they see it now. And if I was the lawyer in that place, to God and this day, that would have been my stance. More respect to Dr. Abdullahi Okonte. It lays out everything. JFKs, they laid out everything. But for me, that would have been my contention from the get-go. I want to see the proclamation document before I even start this matter. If there is no proclamation document, the directive from the president, why should I be talking about this matter? There is none. I have not seen it, and I want to see it. And before I proceed with laying my deposition, I want to see this letter authorizing the NEC commissioner that we should use the PR system. That is for me. That is it right there. So go and the case they close right there first of all. Now stand still at the court. Let the Supreme Court can tell you, the judge can tell you, say, no, not for see that letter. Hey, it is a public letter. Anything where the president instruct, it is a public. The president, there's no privacy in anything again where they instruct anything we go for do with, especially at that level, that magnitude, where it creates a constitutional crisis. That should have been the case for me, Kashi and Comrade, and Salon people. And I think that is what we should ask for. And again, for them, Mohamed Kana Wekona not take the stand under oath. I mean, it defeats the purpose. So one, if they not give me that proclamation directive, if they not give me the case may move forward. Second, if they don't show me I don't see him. Now I want Mohamed Kana Wekona for come to the stand now. For can tell Salon people why you feel say get the authority first of all for even go ahead and declare. Say,
and why JFK and the rest requested it up to this day, they've not sent it.
Absolutely. 3 letters were written. First of all, that's very disrespectful to a lawyer. That alone in itself constitutes somewhat of a crime in a serious society. It should be reprimanded for that. As the electoral commissioner, lawyers are writing you, requesting a copy of the document, and you flat out not even respond to them. That is contempt. In a sober society, Mohamed Kana Wekona should be fined or spend some time in jail for that. It is contempt. So these are the points where we lay. Actually, you see, per law case, when you read certain, exhibit per law issues, but could talk not per law business. But could talk not a day pan case business. It's the fact. When you all certain facts you present to me, brother, it is done. And then they can tell me say the administrative. Tell me that letter, not to administrative part of the case. The directive from the president. Tell me it's not administrative. Not really the administrative part of the whole case begin. It is that letter, that directive from the president. In a Romba and Sidon, the Marabio tell and say, Kashi, you not kone, me na Marabio. They can call you, yeah? Answer me, yeah, Kashi. Yes. But Mama Kone. Right. Yeah. So Kashi, you want to take mother, you take mother, me na kone.
Yes.
You take mother, ask me why. You tell me now. Give me directive.
No. You take mother. I don't want to take that name.
Okay. Well, let's just say president. You not gonna. But Mohammed, come back. But this election business, I don't want to me.
Yes.
You know, say this year, man, for win this second, man for go for this second lap. So, Mohammed, which man for do now? You know what I mean? Don't use the PR system. I go find where I go make team for you team tight. Okay, go ahead. Use the PR system.
Yeah, yes.
And then you the user, eh? You the user?
Yes,
okay. Thank you.
What you say, pa?
Okay.
You know, the bomb motor, they go down.
Right. Some people, now so we come to the one now. But no, but we want the directive, bro. We want the letter. We want the letter. But you know, Gashi come ready. Passive no continue. I think see.
No, expand on this. By the way, how APC by election they go? Because
Kashi, I see the PPRC thing, Kashi.
But it's the by election, sorry,
the lower level. Yeah, the lower level. Kashi, you know, Kashi lo talking tomorrow. But yes, it's it's tough.
I don't know if they say people are petitioning and
yes, PPRC don't put out a ruling. We didn't get for conduct some of the lengthy list we didn't put out for them conduct.
Are we still working with the PPRC in 24th of January date?
Hey, Kashi.
Do not know.
Hey, Kashi. We will see, my brother. We will see. You know, it's tough.
We do not know.
It's tough.
You know, APC now this day say they give them ball. Everything does set for them at the table, bro.
Absolutely.
If you don't they take the food and batter back off the table, they go.
Absolutely.
Don't lick the plate.
Yeah.
Sad.
It's tough. But anyway. I go look for the PPRC ruling tomorrow. Instead of conduct some of the lower level elections and back.
And we need to understand, would the PPRC kind of like give them like
an extension?
Because we don't tell everybody 24th of January.
Absolutely.
For me, that's the thing that
absolutely.
You know, I'm really, really keen on, like knowing these things. Like, would they? I do not know. Would they give them extra time? Because I think I see one side where even the youth, the diaspora, them like it's been postponed. They don't give excuse. You know, like where is Ibrahim Sorry? What has he got to say about the 24th date? Because like some of these words, Ibrahim, we have to hold people. Because if you don't tell me the 24th of January, then they look like I said they barely have 2 weeks exactly today. Like the 10th today, they've got 14 more days.
Kashi, there is victory for us. There is victory for us.
Just play sing for the no
in the struggles of APC. There is victory. Kashi, forget about APC, they're solving problems. Don't worry.
Okay.
There is victory. There is victory.
That is what they believe in.
Yeah.
They forget about critical things. They really ask the question now. They ask the question. They dance.
There is victory.
They depend the A team, the Z team.
I tell you.
Anyway.
We will deal with that. We'll take care of her. We'll take care
absolutely.
Of her. Yeah. We hope say the Supreme Court go throw out this matter, man. Time not there again. Time is not on our side. Elections is around the corner. Let's go back to our constituency-based elections and don't violate our constitution. Don't participate in this treasonous act. That is my only appeal to the Supreme Court justice system. You know, we see what's happening at Ghana. They look at Ghana. John Jerry Rawlings, we come straighten things out. You know, we know one day they fix and they meet anybody in our country. We've been through a lot already at this particular point in time. So, Section 108, subsection 8 of the Constitution should be something the Supreme Court justice system for take into consideration with this particular matter. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and Ibrahim will go find out the name of those judges. And that guy was particularly where you talk about the way such immediate right to Chief Justice. I think we need for to find out. I don't know if neither the Mac Brown, I'm not sure.
Possibly.
But we'll find out. Anyway.
Yes. Now, man, me at stake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I hope say we need to indict some now because we say it was positive. Because if you don't think we'll begin to go on some now.
No, Kashi. No, they're not Chris. Then Chris, you get level. And Chris all get level. Yeah. You know, there's certain people in society you cannot touch because it's gonna be a slippery slope downhill. You know.
Yeah.
So
if not Chris, now this one guy, by the way, one guy I think he gets slight deficiency. You know, in Sasko, I think that they can compete. I don't know if you don't watch Sasko, some of your videos.
I don't see Sasko. But the other guy.
Where they ask us if they vote for, then they get money if you vote for Madam You. That had to tell you because you say that Chris at the menu. Like, and that video, they like when before the crash, bro, like it disappeared. I saw they look for that video. They were.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. All of those people, Kashi, people all for take care of the society, brother. They should have a home.
Absolutely. And we promote them because at least like now, TikTok, maybe certain people promote them, people and view them like they'll make money and you know and try to make living from them. You know, because I love them. Sasko. Like I think that they're all tonight and they compete.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, salon people and come on, we get 7 million people, 1 million view, they give you money. So let's promote them and let me make them make living out of it, you know.
Yeah. Salon not really catch up it when it comes to social media. Let me tell you, social media I don't save like Nigeria today.
Exactly.
The youths of Nigeria, Kashi, these guys are making good use of the social media platform. They don't depend beaucoup Congo Satoko. Not so that they depend. If they're in comedy, then focus on comedy. And they are blessing lives as well.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm not the one for them prank and this and that, but they are blessing souls through social media.
I agree.
So Sierra Leone, like how they say again, Sierra Leone has not catch up. Salon slow, we can we didn't be we're always slow, man. We're always slow. But anyways, we'll get there. All right, guys. Okay. We'll left for now. Everybody have a good one. Bye-bye.